Now, most of the exit polls have said that the ruling Aam Aadmi Party is all set to retain New Delhi. The Aam Aadmi Party, which had created a sort of history in 2015 by winning 67 out of the 70 seats in the Assembly in 2015, looks all set to return to govern the national capital. The final results will be out on Tuesday, that is on the 11th of February. However, if exit polls are anything to go by, and it's a big if, Aam Aadmi Party is set to win a comfortable majority. The Irish Prime Minister Leo Varadkar cast his ballot in Dublin in the general election that is likely to remove him from power. Much to the surprise of experts, controversial left-wing Irish Republican Party emerged as the leading contender in the polls. The opposition party has been pretty infamous for its links with the Irish Republican Army, which was behind the decades-long violence in the United Kingdom's Northern Ireland. However, no party is expected to get a majority, and the elections are expected to lead to the formation of a coalition government. Thousands of mourners took part in a funeral procession for a Palestinian protester who was killed a day earlier as clashes erupted between Palestinians and Israeli forces. The protester was shot dead in the West Bank on Friday during the clashes against US President Donald Trump's supposedly Middle East peace plan that Palestinians have rejected as completely biased and one-sided. The Palestinian protesters and the Israeli security forces have repeatedly clashed since this peace proposal by Donald Trump was unveiled. Meanwhile, Israel has escalated its trade war with the Palestinians, which the Palestinians have dubbed as oppression, by stopping their agricultural exports through Jordan, Israel, and also the Palestinian Authority. They'd opened a new front in their decades-long conflict with a trade dispute that began in October and have escalated over the past week. Israeli and Jordanian officials have not immediately responded to the request for a comment. Bilateral tensions have been further fueled by the announcement of US President Donald Trump's controversial Middle East peace plan, which has prompted a string of violent incidents in Jerusalem, the occupied West Bank, and Gaza. The chief Palestinian negotiator Saeb Erekat met with Jordan's Foreign Minister Ayman al-Safadi in Amman. The meeting was part of an extensive Jordanian-Palestinian coordination to deal with US President Donald Trump's proposed West Asia peace plan. Now, Trump's plan calls for a two-state solution but has been looked at as heavily favoring the Israelis, virtually conceding to all of their demands to annex whatever land that they wanted from the Palestinians. Trump's plan, believe it or not, would allow Israel to annex all of its illegally built settlements in the West Bank, as well as the strategically important Jordan Valley that would also be allowed to be annexed by Israel. Jordan backs for a two-state solution and has said that any proposal that does not meet the constants of the Jordanian position will not be accepted. Meanwhile, Hong Kong's chief executive Carrie Lam has said that the territory is facing an acute shortage of masks and other preventive medical gear. She said that Hong Kong did not have enough masks to keep up with the supply for over a month. The Lam has appealed to the public for help and has said that the administration is looking at increasing the production of masks as the number of confirmed coronavirus infections has risen to nearly 26 in Hong Kong, and panic has gripped the residents, resulting in a massive surge in demand of these masks. The U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has urged governors of the U.S. states and territories to adopt a cautious mindset when engaging in business with China, saying that Beijing is seeking to use U.S. openness to undermine the United States. The Pompeo said in a speech to the National Governors Association in Washington that China was pursuing a policy of exploiting U.S. freedoms to gain advantage over the United States at the federal level, the state level, and also at the local level. He said that when it comes to doing business, I'm asking you to adopt a cautious mindset while representing the U.S. states and territories. According to historians, US's New Hampshire began holding its presidential primary in early February because the worst of the winter was over and they wanted to vote before spring brought muddy waters that would make travel difficult. Therefore, for nearly about 100 years, New Hampshire residents are the first to vote for a presidential nominee and may influence the rest of the country. Now, inside the everyday cafe and pubs in the scenic town, residents were still considering their many voting options. President Volodymyr Zelensky is in Rome for a three-day visit. Pope Francis met with the President of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, in a private audience at the Vatican. The talks focused mainly on the humanitarian situation and also the search for peace in the context of the conflict that since 2014 is still afflicting Ukraine, and issues relating to bilateral cooperation. The contribution of the Catholic Church present in the country in various rites were also examined during the meeting. And Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has met with world leaders during the 33rd Annual African Union Summit in Ethiopia, where participating nations reviewed how to unlock the region's full potential. Trudeau met with the Ethiopian President Saleh Work Sewde, saying that Ethiopia was one of the fastest growing economies in the world and is set to become a major economic hub. His overseas itinerary also includes visits to Senegal, and trip aims to deepen Canada's relationship with African nations, said Trudeau's office in a statement. Switzerland will vote today to decide on a proposal to make discrimination on the basis of sex. People were killed and at least 179 others were injured, including 4 Chinese nationals. The seriously injured passengers were seated at the 2 parts of the cabin where the aircraft split. A Thai soldier went on a shooting rampage in Nakhon Ratchasima. He also reportedly stole a Humvee from his base and then proceeded to shoot at the shoppers inside of a mall. He also took a selfie during the attack and posted it on social media. The Thai Defence Ministry has confirmed nearly about 20 deaths so far from the shooting spree carnage by this army soldier in northeastern Thailand. The Public Health Minister, who arrived at the hospital where the injured were being treated, told the media that nearly about 31 people have sustained injuries and 4 of them are in a critical condition. The police is still negotiating with the suspect on the hostage crisis.
ว่า
Now, Pakistan is considering a proposal for allowing Indian pilgrims to enter the Kartarpur Corridor passport in order to attract more visitors to the revered Gurdwara Darbar Sahib. Pakistan's National Assembly has been informed that a proposal for allowing passport-free entry of Sikh pilgrims in Kartarpur is under consideration. The Interior Minister Ejaz Shah has informed the National Assembly during the question hour about the passport-free entry of Indian pilgrims to the Kartarpur corridor, and he said that this to its northeastern region. Now, extreme winds, snowstorms and floods have swept across different regions of the United States, claiming lives. Meanwhile, nearly about 100 classic motor beauties from different eras are on display at a car show in India's western city of Ahmedabad. Nearly about 80 vintage cars and 20 vintage bikes were displayed at the 5th Annual Heritage Car Show. The auto enthusiasts relive the history of automobiles in the country. The visitors at the exhibition got to see as to how the old cars were designed and how, celebrating the arrival of 3 lion cubs. The cubs, 2 males and 1 female, were born at the Parky Lord Zoo and are all in reportedly good health. According to reports, proud parents Nala have successfully taken to their cubs. The Park Loro Zoo has a successful breeding program, having produced nearly about 50 species that were. These cubs will eventually find homes in other zoos when they are older to help conserve their species.